Hi everyone, happy Monday. I'm here with Beth. Is Beth Shekinah Terrence? Did I say that
Uh,
correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Beth is on the East Coast, and we have worked together a little bit. Beth works for the NCGR over there and has been a longtime healer and shaman and astrologer. And so Beth is here to talk about her class, which is happening June 29th, which is Saturday. It's from 1:30 to 3:30, and it's on Bach flower essences and astrology. So welcome, Beth. How's your day so far?
Well, good. Hi, Andy. It's so good to be here with you.
Yes. So, what is your class about?
Yeah, the title of the class is Bach Flower Remedies Through the Signs of the Zodiac. And I, I have been a long-term Bach flower practitioner. I've used them personally, and actually they're one of the key remedies that help me in recovery from fibromyalgia, and also in my journey of recovery through trauma and addiction. And I've found taking a holistic approach has been essential for that. So they're one of the oldest remedies I have in my holistic practice that I integrate with shamanic healing in my work with my clients. So I'm just really passionate about them. I want to say that. And in the class, it will be an introduction overall to the Bach flower remedies, particularly, if folks aren't familiar with them, as a system of healing. And flower essences, I like to just clarify, are a form of vibrational medicine. So they're working energetically. They're drops that we would take orally, or we could make into a spray, but not not aromatherapy or scents. So sometimes that gets confused. And so it'll be a great introduction to the system itself, and then linking it with astrology. And I've been recently reading your book on astrological remediation. So I think I've been doing that in different ways a long time in my own process. I definitely someone who's been studying astrology for most of my life, and I've recently begun to integrate it into my work with clients. And so I'm seeing a link between these two evolutionary systems, and they both really, I see them as a way to have a blueprint. Certainly with astrology, we can think of it as a blueprint for our life and our soul journey in this incarnation. And the Bach flower system, um, there are 38 different remedies, which they say can make like a million different possible combinations, can address a person, individually, wherever they are in that moment in their journey. And so by looking at different emotional states and personality traits, to select remedies, it's a way of bringing us into greater harmony with our soul and our essence. And Dr. Bach, who was the creator of the Bach flowers back in the 1920s and 30s in the UK, he felt very strongly that disease in itself, whether we talk about physical disease or mental emotional disease, was a sign that we are out of alignment in some way with our soul and with our purpose in this lifetime. And so uh, those areas where we feel challenged can be a way, sometimes are things we feel like we want to overcome, but they can also be shining a light and showing us um, where where our work is. And as a shaman, I'm always looking for, where is that inner work that I need to do. And so and I think astrology really is a way that we can look at ourselves in that way too, and have a lens on what we're experiencing. So I'm really excited to kind of share this marriage of two systems. And there's a lot. I was, as I've been preparing, thinking this is the first time I'm sharing on it in this way. There could be definitely a series along the way, in terms of looking at, different aspects of astrology, and, planets and transits and things like that. But we'll really look at the essence of each sign, and then how the remedies can support that, maybe when it's sort of out of balance, whether excessively or deficiency, so that we can learn or find ways we can really embody more of the essence of that astrological aspect. So um, I'm
Wonderful.
pretty excited about
Well, I'm
it.
excited too. It's just been awesome working with you so far, and I think we would love to have a series on this. I think it's cool to meet people like you who are basically already doing astrological remediation in their own way over the years, but they don't necessarily have that name for it. I mean, you've been healing people forever with shamanism and flower essences, and I know that you work in addiction and recovery, and so
Yeah,
you've been
yeah.
a healer for a long, long time, and so I'm really excited for this class. So it seems like if people go to this class, even having a basic understanding of astrology or no astrology at all, if they're just into Bach flower essences, they can learn about kind of a basic system to start providing remedies. Even if you learn your sun, moon, and rising, you could look at the essences for each of those signs and what might support that sign. And this will be helpful for people when working with their clients too, wouldn't you say?
Definitely, yeah. And I guess I'll say the system, when Dr. Bach created the system, he had actually been a medical doctor initially, and he studied bacteriology and immunology, and then moved to homeopathy at a certain point. And he felt very strongly about treating the person, the individual and where they are. And at some point, recognized the importance of emotions in the process of healing as much as addressing physical things. And he was also very intuitive and connected to nature. And that's when he was able to correlate the energies of different flowers with different emotions and personality traits.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Especially,
yeah.
it's like I'm a geek for when science meets spirituality. That's like I just like that. So and that's so long ago that was happening. Um, so just to say that he wanted to leave the system in a way that anybody can learn to use it for themselves. So you can certainly learn, through reading books and, studying, and we have the internet today. And with 38 different remedies, it can take some time to get to know it. So I do also teach some classes on the Bach flower remedies. So, and I can share that information after the class. And then I'm actually what's called a Bach flower registered practitioner. I have studied a long time and gotten certified through the Bach Center in the UK, which is kind of the roots of Bach flowers. It was the home of Dr. Bach. And so if someone's interested, there's definitely pathways to learning more about it, but you can begin definitely on your own. And we'll just kind of give some essentials in the class to begin to open the pathway to that.
Well, awesome. This sounds like a great introduction class to Bach flower essences for anyone, and also a good introduction to remedy theory for people who are interested in, helping people with hard aspects or whatever. It sounds like you're going to really provide some useful tools. So, is there anything else you want people to know?
Let's see. Yeah, what you just said, I think that's really important is, um, you know, it, one, I think if we think of our life and our soul journey as an alchemical process. And so when we're thinking about the remedies or other different tools that might help with our, navigating our journey and our astrological blueprint, it's not about trying to like with medications, mask symptoms or things like it's really trying to alchemize that essence of who we are. And so that's really the intention is to offer some insight into how the Bach flower remedies can be that tool to support us on our journey. And we need tools. We live in a world where, there's a lot of chaos and, it's just part of the nature, but it's also we're living in intense times too. So learning how to navigate and create some balance, and particularly as we move through different personal aspects natally and transits and things like that, there
Nice.
should be a little bit of, something you could carry and begin to use right away for sure.
So one last question. What is your teaching style? Are you a lecturer or just discussion, or how does it, how do you unwrap the package basically?
It depends, I guess. I have varied styles. So, and, depending on the topic and materials, it's, sometimes more lecture, more experiential. In this class, because there's, some learning of what might be new or renewed information, it might be part of it a little more lecture style, but I definitely want to hear from people. Oh, no. And have time for questions and answers. And even, I'm going to bring some thoughts about the different signs and, how that might manifest, but I want to hear from people in terms of what their thoughts and experiences are. And then I could speak to that in terms of the remedies and how it might support that. So
Wonderful.
a little of both.
All right, well, we are so excited to have you. And so that again, that's Saturday, June 29th from 1:30 to 3:30 Pacific time, which is 4:30 to 6:30 Eastern time. And
That's correct.
yeah, and if anyone wants to register, just private message me and we'll get you registered, or you can go to andreagehrz.com events and you can actually just buy a ticket yourself there. So, all right, Beth, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Great.
meeting with me
Great.
today.
Well,
And
thanks so much, Andy. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
yeah, you as well.
Okay. Bye, everybody.